And we are back with another episode of Boss Your Business, where I interview my guests about how they build a business that supports their lifestyle. And what you guys missed out on is we already noted out behind the scenes of all the things that a well-organized business allows you to do. But before we dive into all of that, so you actually get to hear it too, guys, let me introduce you to Colleen Biggs. You are a 22-year business strategist, where I also heard grandchildren in the green room, where I'm like, girl, you barely look like you are old enough to have kids. Oh, yeah, we'll get to all of that. You empower business leaders to expand their influence to attract the right clients and drive more profits. You launched over 340 businesses, and you're a sought after keynote speaker, author of 5 #1 international bestsellers. We need to talk about that too with my book launch coming up. I want to copy you. I'm like, girl, always master excellence, right? Copy excellent. You know what I mean. Maybe I should have had 3 coffees today. And your latest book was Step into the Spotlight to Expand Your Influence. You're also the CEO and founder of Leap, and you were awarded the top 10 women business leaders of 2021 and the most inspirational leaders in business of 2023. You provide women with a community of entrepreneurs that take the leap daily and realize that their network is their net worth. Now, how big is your office? Because with all of these awards, your walls must be full, girl.
You know, it's so funny that you say that, because the way I've set up my office is so that the wall I look at is kind of like a shrine of my awards, if you want me to be honest. So the very first magazine I was ever on the cover of, the very first magazine I produced, I have my black belt certificate. I have my personal training certificate. I have my vision board. I have all my medals from competition and running. So there's like a few things on my wall, but that's my inspiration to not only remember what I've done to get here, what I've accomplished, but it fuels me because my vision board's on the same wall to really what I'm looking to accomplish in the future.
While listening to you, because the moment you said it's like I have it in front of me, I'm like, this makes so much more sense. We have the tendency to, oh yeah, this is easy now, and forget all the things that we have done and learned to get here, right? And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, I got things there and I got things there. I should move my calendar from in front of me and freaking me out of all the things I need to get done to just over there where I can plan and have that wall of awesomeness. And I think I will be redecorating my office this weekend. I love that idea because it's like, we forget so fast all the things that we thought might be quite difficult in the past, yet we still accomplished it, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, it took me, 3 years to get a black belt. And that is something that I'll never forget. The bruises, the mental capacity, the physical, the everything I worked through for that. And so my husband and I had everything in boxes. And I said to him one day, when I redo my office, and I brought in really great furniture that I love, it's kind of like a royal blue, old 70s, like velvet, and it's just super, it's comfortable for me to sit on, and it's just a place that this is my space. And I think we all need a space where it's okay to celebrate our past accomplishments. To get a certificate in personal training was something I just did on a whim to see if I could pass the test, to see if I could put myself to the test, to see if I could do it. But then that actually became the avenue of how I was making money when I left corporate America and started to become an entrepreneur, because I didn't just come out of, corporate America, birthed this brand new entrepreneur making $250,000 a year. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs forget that. What means do you have available to you to drive income? It doesn't matter where you're driving the income from. How are you driving the income? And so I was thankful that I had that available because I was able to teach fitness classes. I was able to teach, private clients, and then I could ramp up private clients when I needed more money. Eventually it just, it was something I didn't really enjoy doing. I think I loved working out. I just don't want to teach other people how to work out, if you want me to be really honest.
I'm working on the habit of liking to work out. Oh, yeah. I might have
It's a
overdone my leg
lifeline.
workout on Monday and I'm still sore.
Yeah.
Didn't even feel that. What I love though, and what I wanted to just quickly come back for the audience is, guys, did you hear what she was talking about when you talked about putting together your office? And that's one of the things that I tell a lot of my audience and in my community, where it's like, guys, you want to feel comfortable. You want to step into the person we already know you are, and you want to be you potentially not see yet. Where what popped in my head when you were explaining of how you really made your office space comfortable and luxurious and yours was when I realized that having fancy coffee at home is my luxury. I'm a sucker when it comes to coffee, yet I had a simple Keurig machine for the longest time. It's like, yeah, it did the job, cool, but it wasn't anything special. And it's those little things that we can implement, little or big things that anybody can implement right now for you to step into the person you want to be. So it's like,
I don't understand why we go through life not rewarding ourselves on a regular basis. I'll hear someone say to me, when I get this work done, then I'll go and, play or do whatever. And I'm like, if you want the fancy coffee, and if Coffee Fridays is your thing, go get the coffee and spend the time and enjoy it. And then go do your work. Like, we're not children anymore. We don't have to do the chores and then get the reward afterwards. And I feel like that's such an archaic way of thinking. And that's how our public schools are, right? The archaic way of thinking, which is, you're being taught to, schools were created for us to work in factories. Plain and simple. That's what it was created. Nothing's changed since then. So if you're not planning on working in a factory, most people aren't, then, it doesn't make sense to me why you would continue going to college and all of these other schools and keep getting more and more degrees, unless you're a doctor or an engineer. You have to have a specific type of training to do your craft, right? Entrepreneurs, business administration in college is not going to give you anything you need to learn how to be an entrepreneur. You need to be binging podcasts like this.
And how often does it actually happen that when we do, quote, spoil ourselves, which I just say, I'm like, it's living life. I want to do this, right? It actually comes back around that we do accomplish what we want to accomplish because we did the thing we wanted to do. Same with me. It's like, I was told San Diego, too expensive. Why would you move to San Diego? Do you know what went is? Guess what? I moved to San Diego and it actually elevated my business. So I'm like, just do the thing now. We don't know how long we're going to be around. So stop moving it out.
That's the thing. And I think that's really kind of a theme of your podcast. Like, how do you design your life so that you're able to live your life and you're not a slave to your business, right? You want to design your life to where you're not a slave to your kids. You want to design your life to where you're not a slave to your community or your neighbors, right? So how do we design our life to where we're not a slave to those things? And I mean, automation's key for one, but because you're only one person, and then you might multiply yourself through multiple contractors that you hire and people that are on your team, like you and I have done. But when it comes down to it, automation is key. What is working for you when you're out having a good time with your family? What is working in the background? You want someone to be buying. You want, dollar signs to be clicking when you're at a wedding. That's how you build.
There's nothing better sitting out having a nice dinner. I'm one of those foodies. I love enjoying food, and by dessert, I'm one of those people. I am attached to my phone. It's just me. So after I took my evening off and I enjoyed my dinner, I do one of those check my phone things, and it's like, oh look, somebody else signed up for Startup Your ClickUp. Awesome, sweet, nice. They are taken
Mhm.
care of. There's an email funnel running that greets them, that has a cute little video in it. It's like, you don't have to lose your personality in
Mhm.
automations. We have so much video, we have gifs and all the things where you can keep it personal.
Yeah.
So we already talked about kind of what your path was coming here. What does business and life look like for you right now?
Yeah. So, my husband owns a business. I own a business. We own a business together. We also own properties, houses, land. And so, my business life is very diversified in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different areas. We have investments and some other like very fast rising, quick startup investments. And then we also have kind of the lagging, slower investments, that will be there. We're never retiring. So I don't know when that money is actually going to come back to me, but maybe when I'm dead, who knows? Because my husband and someone asked us the other day, when do you plan on retiring? And this is what I don't like about financial planners. When are you going to retire? They want you to stack everything up for that day or whatever that year is that you're retiring. And my husband and I said, especially because we pulled into an RV park to just go check out some other RV
Mm-hmm.
parks. And we saw a lot of elderly people that were retired in this RV park. And it kind of shocked us for a moment because my husband and I are 51 and 61. So it shocked us for a moment to think like, is this what happens when people retire? Because this is not what's going to happen to us. And we both looked at each other and we said, yeah, when you retire, you expire because all of them have nothing to do now. Like I could tell by their activities, they really didn't have a life that they were living that excited them anymore. Did that make sense?
Yep.
So my design of my businesses excites me. I travel because
Mm-hmm.
I create programs. So I have to travel. Like I run a mastermind as an example. And this mastermind has 5 to 6 women in it every year because I don't like a bigger number than that. So that's what I said. That's all I want. And it's a lot easier to find a 6-bedroom house when you're renting a big house than to
Yep.
anything above 6 bedrooms. Very hard to find, right? I can go to any city and get a 6-bedroom house. So I want to pluck myself out of my day to day life, my business. I need to get away and clear my head. And I want to
Mm-hmm.
go back to the days when my girlfriends and I would get away when we were raising kids and we just exited life to talk about how to become better versions of ourselves, to
Yep.
to plan how to be a better mom, to work through our problems, to role play when one of us might be getting a divorce or is dating someone new. You know what I'm saying? We did these things on a beach, hanging out
Mm-hmm.
as friends. We talked about life. They got me through life. We do the same thing in a mastermind. You
Yep.
talk about your business, you talk about your struggles, you talk about your finances, you ask for resources, they give you advice. These are women that are going to show you your blind spots, whether you want to see them or not. And you go, oh, crap. I didn't even notice that. You guys are totally right. And then boom, you have your answer to change course. And I've done this year after year in my mastermind. But on top of that, you not only walk out there feeling like a boss, because I just achieved so much in my business in one
Mm-hmm.
session of a day. We literally will sit in our pajamas from sunup to sundown and just work on business through whatever coffee, order in, whatever. And then at the end of the day, we're all like, man, do I feel accomplished? The next
Yep.
day, we go play. We rent, we go out and we charter sailboats. We go do fun excursions. We eat really good food at really nice restaurants and we play. And then we set goals on Sunday before we go home. That's steps to achieve to get to that bigger change that we said we were just going to do. And then we meet once a month on Zoom to stay accountable. I created it that way because that's what I wanted. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do a mastermind. And other ladies are like, that's brilliant, but they don't want to create it. They just want to pay and go.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
there you have those different values and personalities where it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, cool, I can do that, but I don't want to.
Right.
I don't. There is personalities where it's like I don't want to deal with finding the right Airbnb, managing people, keeping them accountable, making sure, doing all the things. I just
Mhm.
want to give you my money and
And
get
let me go
get
get the
the
experience. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I love that,
Yeah.
and I'm one where it's like I like to be the boss. I like to build the things too. Um, with that, this is the perfect example of how do you build a business around your lifestyle. You knew
Mhm.
what you wanted, you knew where your values are, you knew where you wanted to take it, and therefore you decided, let's keep it small. This
Yeah.
is what the framework is going to be. This is what we're going to do, and there you go. That's how you build packages, people. That's how you build a product. You
If we're talking about someone who has a I own another type of business. So, this business is online with the business coaching I do and the community that I run. Similar, you have a community of people. My husband and I also own a local business here in Arizona, and it's a mobile pizza business, and it's for private events and weddings and corporate events and showers and things like that. So this is a very different business model
Mhm.
now than my other model, which is flying around every quarter and going to a different house and masterminding and, having the best time. Now we're talking about health codes, food prep, kitchen
Yeah.
rentals. We're talking about trailer upkeep. So we own this with one of our children. And I was like, I don't want to work in the business. I don't want to be the one flipping all the
Mhm.
pizzas and serving everybody. I'm happy to fill in, and I will learn all this, and I did learn it in the beginning. But it's like our job right now is to get employees. We need to, if we want to be able to continue growing this business, I need to focus on what I do best, which is building relationships, getting on like AZ Bride Company, building all these other relationships so that our employees can just go turn the events, right? You just want them to turn the events to make the cash. So I think that most people forget about that. They think if I can do the work, I keep most of the money, but that's actually not true. When you have employees doing it for you, now you have the time to go sell more events, to do marketing, to do whatever it is that you need to do. I mean, network with someone, and before you know it, they're like, oh my gosh, I have an event coming up, and so needs a caterer. And then there, boom, you just got another event versus being an employee in your business. And if you're paying an employee $25 an hour, you just made $25 an hour working that event versus selling another one. So you have to shift your mindset to a CEO hat
Mhm.
versus the mindset of being an employee and creating a job. I see so many entrepreneurs leave corporate America. They create a job for themselves, and
Yeah.
they're literally slaved to their business they created because they made a job. And that's not why you became an entrepreneur.
And I think that's it's a natural growth of,
Yeah.
hey, I don't want this. I'm starting a business. I see a need. I have a passion, whatever it is. And then realizing this. And I've seen people realize it and I've seen people not realize it, where it's like, you're doing all the things now. You could have stayed in corporate America without having to worry about getting clients in the door and getting all the things and doing all the things. You would have had an easier life for the same money.
Yeah.
So let's get you out of this thing. Let's
Yeah.
turn you into an actual business owner, into a CEO, rather than you working for, in the
Yeah.
end, often enough less than 25 bucks an hour because you're doing all the things everywhere and all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
think,
people think working it means something different. If I'm out at a mastermind, I'm working. I'm working
yeah.
the entire time and I'm having a lot of fun. that working looks different, right? So working can be multiple things. It doesn't have to be hard, grueling emails, phone calls, sales, sales, sales. It's about building connections with people. And the more that you build connections with people, the more you're depositing equity into what I call social capital. And that social capital is always going to be who you know and who knows you. And you need to be getting in front of the people that don't know you right now, that needs to know you, because they're going to be referring people to you. And I would say probably I'm at about a 90% rate now that all of my business, whether it's speaking, paid speaking, keynote, workshops locally that I do for the city and some other businesses here, any clients that are referred to me, everything now is on referral basis. And that took years to grow to get your name out there, because you have to create a digital footprint. It's like, why do you build a website and then that's all you do with it? It just stays stagnant. By the way, no one's going to find you if you just build a website. You've got to build a digital footprint that drives people to your website. So it's about being seen in other people's businesses, letting them promote you, being on other people's podcasts, magazines, blogs, articles, being a guest at someone's conference. They're promoting you, and that creates your digital footprint online. And I just want to ask everyone, go out and Google yourself right now or your business and see what shows up. And if you're barely even a glimpse of on page one, you're not doing a good enough job. People should only see you.
Build it and they will come. Unfortunately, does not work anymore, not nowadays. And I actually do Google myself regularly, also because it's like things are getting shared about me and YouTube videos and all the things, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think sometimes it's also we are getting comfortable in our community and our circle, and we forget about that. That's going to get stagnant too. So really stepping into other people's communities, connecting and continuously growing that.
Yes.
So with all of that, you have a whole bunch of stuff going on. We talked about, you do have your community, you have your mastermind, you have coaching, you do keynote speaking, you do workshops, you do podcast guesting, you do all the things with multiple businesses on top of things. How does that work behind the scenes? What are some of the tools, workflows, processes that allow you to do that?
Yeah.
And still look fresh and gorgeous like you do on camera?
Part of that is health. I eat really healthy and I work out. And so everyone that says I'm too busy and don't have time for it, that's a bunch of crap, because
it just means you don't pay attention to it. You don't care.
It's not important
Did I
to
just
you,
say that?
right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. We make time for the things that are important to us. And so I start every day, right, with my normal routine. I read books all the way back to like Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie. And I constantly reread books, and that gives me a lot of inspiration. It keeps my mindset really secure on, what I'm doing. Having the wall, like I talked about, in front of me keeps me very grounded in what my goals are and where I've come from, right? So those two things. But the processes that are in place, a lot of it is like you talked about, sales funnels, email automations. I do very little manual work. The manual work that I do is the connecting with others, and that's generally networking in person. But even smart things like, let's say you join the chamber locally for your business, because you do a lot of local work. It becomes automated for you as well. Once you get into the chamber and you're meeting individuals, they're marketing for you because you're a member. So now they're promoting you, they're marketing for you. People are going to meet you because they've seen your name within the chamber. So we have to remember that not all automation we create and start, but I said this yesterday, I think it was, or earlier today on a conference I was on, and I shared with everyone that, people today, and no matter what's going on out there, I'm telling you, they are just drowning in content. Every day you can open your email, go on any social media feed, and it's much stuff, right? People are starving for connection. They just want to be connected with. And it's so interesting to me when I meet someone brand new and I'm having a conversation with them and and I'm literally interested in them and I'm listening, and maybe I'll follow up with them on an email or text them or say, oh, I have someone I think you should meet, and introduce them. And then I say, oh, hey, you told me you're looking for more networking opportunities. I just found out about these 3 events. Why don't you go ahead and head there and invite some friends? And they're shocked that I'm so nice to them. They're shocked that I would take the time to do that for them. And I think to myself, well, I would want you to do that for me. So I just treat other people the way I want to be treated. It's that simple.
I think what a lot of people experience is this: they're not used to people listening. We are so used to talking at people, promoting the whole content overload, as you mentioned. When we run into somebody that can actually shut up for a minute and let somebody else talk, don't get me wrong, it's like I'm one where I'm like, I'm itchy. I love sharing. I love doing. So I literally had to train myself to, I want to hear what people are saying. I want to hear their story. I want to ask the questions. And I had to stop myself from being like, oh, do you know this? Do you know that? And just breathe for a minute.
Yeah.
And let them talk. So I think that's where people really get surprised, when people listen and actually remember.
Yeah. And people, everyone listening today, like you and I are psychics, by the way, because we know every single person's favorite word, because every person's favorite word is their own name. And even back in like the 1930s, Dale Carnegie, in his book that I was reading, he said they recorded like 100 conversations over the phone or something. And the word I was used over 3,800 times. People are concerned about themselves first.
Yep.
Their name is their favorite thing. So I'm not asking people to sacrifice all of their needs and not serve themselves, because that's pouring from an empty cup, right? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying to truly earn leadership, you have to influence others. And the only way you can do that is by serving first. And there is always a slight sacrifice to that. It's serving leadership.
By the way, guys, even if you just call customer support or you are struggling with something, the first thing I do is note down the name of the person I'm talking to. And I at least mention that name 3 times right in the beginning of the conversation. Believe me, if you are struggling with a credit card company or trying to get a return done, it will help. And it comes back around to exactly what you said, Colleen.
Yeah.
We, in the end, and it's a survival strategy, we care about us and our survival. What is in it for me? And it's not a negative thing. It's a survival. It's a nature. This is how we grew up. And if we cannot serve ourselves, we can't serve anybody else.
So if we know that, then that is our greatest weapon in business, because I call it whiff 'em. Like you said, what's in it for me? All you have to do is know that your customer, all they want to know is, how are you going to solve my problem?
Yep.
Talk to them exactly like that. Conversion's easy when you're talking to them exactly the way they need to be spoken to, and you know who you're speaking to. Like, my market is a very narrow market in my business that I run online. My market is a very narrow market to the market that I run in my business for the mobile pizzeria, right? It's very narrow. I know who I'm speaking to. So when you know who you're speaking to, how you advertise is easy. It's very easy. You want to get more weddings booked, then everything that you're speaking to is to a bride. Because she's listening when it's time for her to plan her wedding. She's looking at everything. So you just constantly throw photos out of that, videos, do everything to pull on her heartstrings. to the bride, right? So you're going to talk to the bride if that's where you want to grow your business. So again, you just have to be smart. You can't do everything at once. And where your energy flows is where you're going to see the changes in your business. That's where you're going to generate revenue. So I think people try to do too much at the same time. And people tell me all the time, like, you're everywhere. Well, if I record 12 podcasts and then they're just starting to be uploaded and done by my team, it's going to look like I'm recording podcasts and doing live videos and things, but I'm not really sitting there in that moment doing it. I did it months ago, and so it's
the joys of content batching. Yep.
I think content batching is smart. It's super smart.
And it also takes, for me personally, it takes away the stress. It takes away the anxiety of, oh my God, I haven't done this. I'm like, what? Okay, we know exactly we need 4 YouTube videos. So what are we talking about? Script them out however you script out. I don't fully script. I do talking points. Everybody got their own way. You record the 4 videos. They go off to the editor. They get scheduled out. My VA is plugging together a couple of posts for that. Cool. Same with the podcast. Yeah. Short form videos. I literally have short form video going out every single day right now on 3 different platforms. Guess what? Yeah. It's the same content, guys. It's the same thing. Just literally move the dates around, because chances are what you saw on Tuesday on TikTok, you're not going to see on Thursday on YouTube. And you just make the most of all the things you are already creating. But again, for everybody starting out, guys, we both have worked our way up to this.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it all at the same time and all at once.
I think knowing and understanding franchising, which was, way in my past, understanding that taught me a lot about processes and procedures and standardized processes and procedures, because franchising is about duplicating one business to be exactly like the next, right?
Yeah.
So creating processes and procedures in your business in the very, very beginning, and ask yourself, is this something that can be automated? Like, nothing drives me crazier than someone emailing me and saying, hey, yeah, why don't we meet up next week? Are you available on like Tuesday or Thursday or at 8 or 5? And I'll write them back and I'll say, hey, thanks so much for connecting. It was really great. Whatever I want to say to them. And I'll say, the easiest way for us to connect is going to be to talk, on the phone, is going to be for you to find a time on my calendar that works perfectly for you.
Yep.
So click on the link, find a time, because I already know there's no way I'm going back and forth on that time doesn't work for me. What about this time? Automated. And now in that automation that I sent them, they are automatically going to get an email once they register. It's automatically going to go onto their calendar once they register. And then there's auto set up emails to remind them 24 hours or 3 days before or 1 hour before. A text message goes out to remind them. I want them to remember that they booked that call with me. And then after I'm done talking with them, another automated email is going to go out to them afterward.
This is why we get along so well, because what you don't know yet, once I mark our notes for this podcast in a certain way, I have an email ready to go that says, hey, I had so much fun with you. By the way, would you leave a podcast review? Guys, this is a call for you too. Remember voting for the podcast and leaving a review. But it's like, I watch so many people, and I still have this calendar thing going on with people too, where I'm like, really? It's 2023. Why do you not have a calendar link? But also showing people that there is processes where I had to learn that people don't see the world like I do, where it's like, I see processes everywhere. It's literally a running joke of me walking the property here. And it's like, you are wasting resources. What the hell are you doing? And I'm like, people don't see the world like this. So it's fun to watch people that simply don't think like this in the beginning and are being exposed to it, where it's like, we can repeat this. Look, there's actually a yellow brick road you are following every single time. Sweet. Now let's write it out
Mhm.
duplicate it, and suddenly we have 5 of you.
It cracks me up because I was in a very successful drive-through of a company that has multiplied and then even moved into another state and multiplied. And I could not believe how they were running their drive-through. I was mortified that they would take my order, and this was a large order because I was picking up a whole bunch of stuff for family. And then after I ordered and I said, "Can I just pay here?" They're like, "No, you're going to pay at the window." Okay, great. I get to the window. They literally asked me my order and I said, "I already gave my order. Did it just transfer up here to you?" And she said, "No." I said, "Then why?"
Then why are you checking my order back there?
I looked over at my husband and I was like, "Do I go inside and tell them 5 things that they could do very quickly to process people through the drive-through faster, or do I just let it go?" And he's like, "Let it go." And I was like,
You got
"Okay.
it. You got it. Yeah, you got to
Let
let it
me
go.
repeat my order again, and we'll wait here for another 5 minutes because I thought you were already working on my order from the last time I ordered it just to pay up here." So I do know there are a lot of businesses out there that have just done some amazing things now to move efficiency. Remember, you have a short span of your attention, so does your client.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do if you take one nugget away from this is put your client hat on, put your customer hat on, be your own customer. And if you're not going to buy, don't expect anybody else to buy. If you don't appreciate the things you do, don't expect anyone else to appreciate the things you do. If you're not doing things that you like and appreciate, then start doing them. Be your own customer.
And with that, you have a freebie for the audience. You have your 5 myths that are keeping you stuck.
Yeah.
Guys, as always, the link for that is going to be in the description, as well as all of Colleen's social posts and everything. Guys, you know how this goes. You're going to find all the links in the description. Do you want to talk quick about your freebie? Anything else where people can best connect with you?
Yeah, what I love about that freebie that I put together is it has a video of me talking with you just straight up raw, right? Because that's who I am. And then it has a worksheet that I want you to kind of think about some of the things of the decisions you're making in your business to decide, is it really that the economy is bad? Is it really that people just aren't spending money right now because gas is too expensive? It's all BS, by the way. You're the one keeping your stuck. You're the one in your way. You're the one preventing the success, because we just talked about, oh my gosh, how many different ways did we just talk about that you can create automation to generate income very quickly? We gave you tools on how to do that. So, for me, I love it when people reach out on LinkedIn and DM me, or Instagram and DM me. I am not hard to find, and I worked really hard on, you can Google Colleen Biggs, and I'm 6 pages on Google. So you're going to find me anywhere in a magazine. You can go to my website, contact me right away on the very top. You can just schedule a call with me. You can jump on my newsletter. If anything I said resonated with you today, that's what I suggest you do. Reach out to me and connect. I will be the one that connects back with you, because I like to do that. That's what I do in my business, and my team does the rest. So,
and this is why we get along so well, because literally, if you DM me, I'm the one in there too.
Yeah.
We just love to talk with people.
Mhm.
Thanks so much for coming on. Guys,
Thank
if you
you.
haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, you know what to do, and hit those 5 stars to make sure everybody else learns how to build businesses that support their lifestyle. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks so much,
Shawn.
Colleen.